The forest was magical. Trees talked and sang, animals chatted and played. The trees had faces with expressive eyes and mouths, and they would tell stories of ancient times and sing songs that echoed through the forest. Birds perched on their branches, joining in the melodies, creating a symphony of nature. Squirrels and rabbits would gather around, listening intently, their eyes wide with wonder. The forest was alive with the sounds of laughter and music, a place where every creature felt at home. The sky was always rainbow bright. It was as if the sky itself was painted with the colors of joy and happiness. Every morning the sun would rise, casting a golden glow over the forest. And as it climbed higher, the sky would transform into a canvas of vibrant hues. Rainbows would arch across the sky, their colors blending seamlessly, creating a breathtaking spectacle. The clouds, fluffy and white, would float lazily, adding to the dreamlike atmosphere. It was a sight that never failed to amaze the inhabitants of the forest.
I just love this forest. It's like a dream come true. Every day is an adventure, and there's always something new to discover. The trees are our friends, and they always have a story to tell. The animals are so friendly, and they love to play with us. It's a place where we can be ourselves, where we can laugh and play without a care in the world. I can't imagine a better place to be. My sparkly mane and shiny horn feel right at home here. The forest is a place of magic and wonder, and I feel like I belong here. The trees whisper secrets to me, and the animals greet me with smiles. It's a place where I can be myself, where I can let my mane sparkle and my horn shine. I feel so lucky to be a part of this magical world.
Sparkle, the unicorn, loved the forest. She felt a deep connection to the land, to the trees and the animals. She would spend her days exploring, discovering new places and making new friends. The forest was her home, and she cherished every moment she spent there. She loved the way the sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground. She loved the way the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, their sweet scent filling the air. It was a place of beauty and peace, a place where she felt truly alive. Zip the dragon lived there too. He was a small dragon with scales that shimmered in shades of blue and green. He had a playful nature, always ready for an adventure. He loved to fly through the trees, his wings beating a rhythm that echoed through the forest. He loved to puff tiny flames, watching as they danced in the air. He was a curious creature, always eager to learn and explore. The forest was his playground, a place where he could let his imagination run wild. He was little and blue, and he puffed tiny flames. His flames were harmless, more like sparks that fizzled out in the air, but they were a source of endless amusement for him and his friends. He would puff flames to light up the night, creating a magical display that left everyone in awe. He loved to show off his skills, and his friends would cheer him on, their laughter ringing through the forest. It was a place of joy and wonder, a place where anything was possible.
Hey, Sparkle, let's play hide and seek among the giant mushrooms. It's so much fun to hide behind the big, colorful caps and try to find each other. The mushrooms are like little houses, with their bright colors and unique shapes. It's like a whole new world to explore. We can run and hide and laugh and play and forget about everything else. It's the best game ever.
Sparkle and Zip were best friends. They had a bond that was unbreakable, a friendship that was built on trust and love. They would spend their days exploring the forest, discovering new places and making new friends. They would share their dreams and their secrets, their hopes and their fears. They were always there for each other, no matter what. Their friendship was a source of strength and comfort, a beacon of light in the magical forest. They played hide and seek amongst the giant mushrooms. The mushrooms were like little houses with their bright colors and unique shapes. It was a game that never got old, a game that brought endless joy and laughter. They would run and hide, their laughter echoing through the forest. It was a place where they could be themselves, where they could let their imaginations run wild. It was a place of magic and wonder, a place where anything was possible. They slid down waterfalls on lily pads. They laughed every day. The waterfalls were like natural slides, with the water cascading down in a rush of white foam. The lily pads were like little boats, carrying them down the stream. It was a thrilling ride, a ride that left them breathless and exhilarated. They would laugh and scream, their voices blending with the sound of the rushing water. It was a place of adventure and excitement, a place where they could let go and have fun. The forest was their happy place. It was a place of beauty and peace, a place where they could be themselves. It was a place where they could laugh and play, where they could dream and explore. It was a place of magic and wonder, a place where anything was possible. It was a place where they felt truly alive, a place where they felt at home. The forest was their sanctuary, their haven, their magical world. One day, something strange happened. The sky, usually a canvas of vibrant colors and mesmerizing patterns, began to change in a way no one had ever seen before. It was as if the very essence of the sky was being drained away, leaving behind a blank, colorless expanse. The inhabitants of the enchanted forest, who relied on the sky's beauty for their daily joy, were the first to notice this unsettling transformation. The colors in the sky started to fade. It was a slow, almost imperceptible process at first, but soon it became clear that something was terribly wrong. The brilliant hues of blue, pink and gold that usually painted the sky were now turning into shades of grey. The once lively and dynamic sky was becoming a dull and lifeless void. The once vibrant rainbow was disappearing. This rainbow was not just any rainbow. It was the heart of the enchanted forest, a symbol of hope and magic. Its colours were said to be woven from the dreams and wishes of all the creatures living in the forest. As the rainbow's colours faded, so did the spirits of those who called the forest home.
Zip, look! The rainbow, it's fading! Sparkle, a small but brave dragon, was the first to voice the concern that everyone felt. Her eyes, usually sparkling with mischief and joy, were now filled with worry. She pointed her tiny claw towards the sky, urging her friends to look up and see the alarming sight for themselves.
Sparkle noticed it first. Her keen eyes, always alert to the slightest changes in their magical world, had caught the first signs of the rainbow's distress. She knew that without the rainbow, their world would never be the same. The enchanted forest, with its lush greenery and vibrant flowers, depended on the rainbow's magic to thrive.
Without the rainbow, our forest will lose its magic. Zip, Sparkle's best friend and a wise old owl, spoke with a voice that trembled with fear. He knew the legends well. The rainbow was the source of all magic in their world. Without it, the forest would wither and the creatures would lose their enchantment. The once whimsical and lively forest would become a shadow of its former self.
Zip gasped, his tiny blue scales shimmering with worry. He had always been the calm and collected one, but now even he couldn't hide his fear. The thought of losing the rainbow, and with it, the magic that made their world so special, was too much to bear. He looked at his friends, hoping to find some reassurance in their eyes. The friends knew they had to do something. They couldn't just stand by and watch their world fade away. They huddled together, their faces set with determination. Each of them brought their unique strengths to the group, and together they formed a plan. They would embark on a journey to discover the cause of the rainbow's disappearance and find a way to restore its colors. They decided to find out why the rainbow was disappearing and bring back its color. It wouldn't be easy, but they were ready to face any challenge that came their way. They knew that the fate of their enchanted forest depended on their success. With a final look at the fading rainbow, they set off on their adventure, their hearts filled with hope and determination. It was time for an adventure. The friends, now more united than ever, took their first steps into the unknown. They were driven by a shared goal and the belief that together they could overcome any obstacle. The path ahead was uncertain, but they were ready to face it head-on. Their journey to save the rainbow had begun, and with it the hope of restoring the magic to their beloved forest. Their first stop was the Whispering Hills. The hills whispered secrets to those who listened closely.
Excuse me, Hills, do you know why the rainbow is fading?
The color fairy lost her magic paintbrush.
Sparkle and Zip gasped.
The color fairy needs her brush to paint the rainbow. We must find it.
Their journey took them to the silly swamp. It was full of giggling mud puddles and singing frogs.
Excuse us, have you seen the Color Fairy's magic paintbrush?
Ribbit! Over there, follow the sign that says, Shimmering Cavern this way.
Thank you.
Sparkle and Zip shouted their thanks as they continued their adventure. The shimmering cavern was dark and mysterious. Crystals on the cave walls glittered like stars.
Sparkle used her horn to light the way. Hello, she called out.
Suddenly, a small voice answered, Who's there?
It was the Color Fairy, and she was crying. She had lost her magic paintbrush. Sparkle and Zip knew they had to help. They comforted the Color Fairy with kind words and warm hugs.
Don't worry, we'll find your paintbrush.
We're good at finding things.
The Color Fairy smiled. Their kindness made her feel better already. Sparkle, Zip, and the Color Fairy searched the cavern together. They looked high and low, but the paintbrush was nowhere to be found. The cavern was a kaleidoscope of colors, with walls that shimmered in every hue imaginable. Sparkle's wings glowed with a soft light, illuminating the path ahead. Zip, always the curious one, darted from one corner to another, his eyes wide with wonder. The Color Fairy, with her flowing gown of rainbow shades, floated gracefully beside them, her laughter echoing softly in the cavern. They had been on this quest for what felt like hours, and the air was filled with a mix of excitement and anticipation. Suddenly Zip tripped and fell, landing with a funny plop. Everyone started to laugh. The sound of their laughter bounced off the cavern walls, creating a symphony of joy. Zip, with a sheepish grin, picked himself up and dusted off his clothes. "I'm okay," he declared, his voice filled with determination. Sparkle fluttered over to him, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "You always know how to make us laugh, Zip," she said, her voice warm and affectionate. The Color Fairy giggled, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Laughter truly is the best medicine," she mused, her eyes sparkling with mirth.
Hey, you missed a spot! Zip pointed to a spot on Sparkle's wing that had a smudge of paint. Sparkle looked at it and burst into laughter. "I guess even fairies aren't perfect," she said, her voice filled with mirth. The Color Fairy joined in, her laughter blending with theirs, creating a harmonious melody of joy. They continued their search, their spirits lifted by the shared moment of laughter.
It was the magic paintbrush, hiding behind a crystal, tickling it to make it laugh. The crystal glowed with a soft, ethereal light, and as the paintbrush moved, it created a cascade of colors that danced across the cavern walls. Sparkle, Zip, and the Color Fairy watched in awe, their eyes wide with wonder.
We found it!
Sparkle exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. Zip reached out to grab the paintbrush, but it playfully dodged his grasp, making them all laugh once more. The Color Fairy floated closer, her eyes twinkling with delight. "This paintbrush has a mind of its own," she said, her voice filled with wonder. They finally managed to catch the elusive paintbrush, and as they held it, they felt a surge of magic and joy. The cavern seemed to come alive with color and light, and they knew that their adventure was just beginning. The Color Fairy was overjoyed. She hugged Sparkle and Zip tightly.
Thank you for finding my paintbrush.
With her magic paintbrush back, the Color Fairy flew up to the sky. She swished and swirled, painting the most beautiful rainbow the forest had ever seen. The colors were back. The forest sparkled with joy. Sparkle and Zip learned that kindness, laughter, and friendship are the most magical things of all. They also learned that even the smallest creature can make a big difference, and so the magical forest continued to thrive, filled with the laughter of friends and the bright colors of a never-ending rainbow. The end.